Hello and welcome back to ManVFilm. It's time for another Blu-ray update. This time it is the month's package from Vinegar Syndrome. We have 4 movies here, well 6 movies and 4 packages, and we're going to go through my thoughts on them, and of course there'll be videos coming later on full in depth of some of these movies. So I'm going to start from my kind of least favourite and work up to my favourite of the releases so far. First up we get this double pack which houses Slaughterhouse Rock and Hard Rock Zombies. Now Slaughterhouse Rock I have seen before as part of the Slasher Classics collection, and I kind of enjoy it. All about a man that's haunted by these nightmares, that's driven to go to Alcatraz Island where him and his friends are hunted by a demon that they have to stop. It's kind of quick as well, just over 80 minutes. It's a fun throwaway horror movie. It's not one that you would clamber to rewatch, but you know what, I had fun watching it a second time. A harder one to really get a grasp on is Hard Rock Zombies. A real weird oddball of a movie. Now, the transfer on this one is really inconsistent, probably because of the materials that they had to do it. I, for the most part, thought it looked pretty good. But you can tell when it kind of moves into lesser quality segments. Not that that's detrimental to the film. The film itself is a really weird and odd tone that just doesn't sit right. The movie kind of circumvents a lot of what it's doing. A band go to a small town to play a gig. The people in the small town are just animals and are going to kill them, and then somehow they're brought back as zombies to get their revenge. Okay, fine, that's about halfway through the movie. But when the zombies come back and get their revenge, they get their revenge in a montage scene that lasts maybe 4 or 5 minutes, and everybody has had their comeuppance. But there's still half the movie to go, and I'm never quite sure where it was going to go. We get a zombie rock out at one point, lots of dance sequences involving a sort of female zombie for no reason whatsoever. There is sort of puppet monsters, there is Hitler. It's just all kinds of weird. Now it could be a case of first time watching this one, but I was on the borderline with this. I kind of liked aspects, I didn't like other aspects, but there is a strange compulsion for me to go back and check this out at some point. A real oddity, a real curiosity. Next up we have the VSA Talon of the Eagles. Talons of the Eagle. Now this was another early 90s action movie, almost felt like a kind of Lethal Weapon rip-off. Has some martial arts, has a wonderfully over-the-top performance by James Hong. It has Jalal Marie, the black hole of charisma, against Billy Blanks, who just outshines him in every aspect of the movie. It's got some good action, but ultimately forgettable once you've seen it. Next up we have another double pack. This is a 4K double pack of Schizoid and X-Ray. 2 movies from Canon in the early 80s. Schizoid is a kind of giallo movie. We have Klaus Kinski as a therapist, and one of his patients is being tormented by these letters, someone proclaiming they're going to kill her. We get to see a masked killer, black gloved wearing, scissor wielding killer take people down, and it's a kind of mild giallo movie that's kind of fun. Then we have X-Ray on the other side of this one, which is a slasher movie set within a hospital, which is fun. It's not a standout slasher, but it has lots of good moments that are really enjoyable. 2 discs, well it's a 3 disc set. We get both movies on 4K, and then we get both movies on a Blu-ray as well. And surprisingly, the standout this month for me was the remarkably fun Reform School Girls, which I found to be, again, over the top, scenery chewing, a parody of women in prison movies, and was incredibly entertaining, hilariously so. I loved the performances, the actors, I loved the rousing finale that it had. I loved almost everything about this movie, and it was one that, you know, I was curious about, but it's one that I'm really happy to have in my collection. So yeah, that is the 4 titles from Vinegar Syndrome this month. I'd love to know if you picked up anything from their range, or if you've watched these movies, what you thought of them. Let me know as usual in the comment box below. As always, there'll be movie reviews coming for all of these, and some of them may already have landed by the time I post this. There's more content up here. You want to see more of my videos. If you want to hit that like button, it just means that you love Vinegar Syndrome. Yeah, or at least are curious about them. And if you want to join the membership or the Patreon program, that would be amazing as well. Although it's not entirely possible, the world that we're living in, where costs are rising up, I appreciate the fact that you're just watching my videos because it helps the channel as well. Thanks a lot. I'll see you next time on ManVFilm.